UMAW. I'm nobody. I'm a guy working in a factory. I'm not even a musician. And I hate the qualifier, like a penny per stream, please. We need to change the narrative. And it's born of like connecting dots. So like Taylor Swift was basically asking sort of similar with her record company, and she couldn't get any satisfaction out of them, so she basically re-recorded all her music and got her fans to buy only the stuff that she recorded, because she's got the talent and she's got the magic. You know what I mean? These are just like utilities, like so Spotify, the music company and all that kind of stuff, right? So we need to change the narrative. So how about this? It's UMAW music streaming services, and you get all of the people, all of the musicians that are on Spotify who pay their union rates to you guys to start up your own streaming services company. I'm not saying it's going to happen instantly, but it's like work towards that. Why don't we work towards, and I say we, I'm not a part of it, why don't we work towards a future where there's no Spotify, where there's only a UMWA streaming services. And basically once it gets up and running, right, obviously days, months, weeks, years, right, it's like everybody migrates from Spotify to and Apple and Amazon and goes to a music-centric streaming service. It's like you guys are the holders of the magic, and you're like Oliver Twist, like asking for another bowl of porridge. It's like, please sir, can I have some more? It's sickening. It's like you don't recognise or realise that you are the ones with the power. It's just about changing your way of thinking, like Taylor Swift did. And it's like, I know it's an absolutely colossal thing, but maybe the biggest thing about what I'm suggesting is the change in our heads, the change in thinking. You know what I mean? That's it. It's a very simple idea, which obviously is extremely difficult to realise in that. And I'm sure people like you will already have thought and considered this. But it's like, take your time on it. But it's like, create a WM, whatever you are, a music, let me just see. A UMAW streaming services thing, and forever never be beholden to these people again. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're under some sort of contract with your record companies where you have to release your stuff on Spotify. But it's so preposterous, isn't it? It's like, so I heard a thing about like the difference between poor thinking and rich thinking, or corporate thinking. And that is that you ask a poor person, someone like me, it's like, oh, can I borrow a £5? That poor person will say, well, I've got a tenner, so you can have, they say, can I borrow some money? And it's like, the poor person will say, well, I've got a tenner, so why don't we share it equally or whatever. Yet, the difference in thinking between that and the business and the corporation, and so I'm not saying that all rich people think like that, so more maybe corporations and that. is that if you ask, like you're asking for the penny, right, out of the 100, and it's like there's 99 pennies left. Hang on. There's 99 pennies left of that 100, or cents if you're in America or whatever. But the corporation will say, well, if I give you 1 cent, then I have, or 1 penny, then I have 1 less than 100. And it's like completely different ways of thinking. And so you're never going to get these people to give up that penny or that cent. You know what I mean? So you have to change the narrative. You have to change the dynamic and recognize that you guys are the ones with the power, with the magic. And also, there's however many people are on Spotify. It's like you are an army. You know, you're what is it? You're a nation of millions, or that Public Enemy, a nation of millions. I can't remember what it was. A music reference. But you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't need to say it again. And it's all from a nobody working in a factory. And it's like, there's people far, far cleverer than I who are going to realise this. But it has to start, if you haven't already had it, with that initial spark. And that initial spark is like, let's call it the Taylor Swift effect. By the way, I'm not a fan of her, but I do believe that the future is female, and I am a fan of what she did. And it was based on which somebody else will be able to look up and research, based on some woman texted her saying, tweeted her saying, why don't you re-record all your music? So it's the same concept, just different. It's like you're an army of millions, and it's like you have the power, you have the art. And it's like, in the second, and you can advertise it and promote it as such. So stop all this like appealing to Spotify and completely change your campaign. Completely change it, like today, right? And it's like, you know what? We're not going to speak to you anymore. We're not going to come pleading with our hands, like with our begging bowls out, like, oh, please, sir, can we have more? It's like, you know what? We've got a different idea. We've got a better idea. We'll be in touch. And they'll know it when all the musicians of the world start pulling away to the UMAW streaming services. And the only thing you have to do is to promise to write in your manifesto, or whatever, your company manifesto, that you will never ever end up behaving like Spotify have behaved. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's where the future will tell. That's where the future will tell. You know what I mean? And that's where you'll be judged in history. Yeah, addition. I suppose one of the reasons that I'm saying, like, you should do this, right? Sorry, Russell. No, no, sorry, I'm on. Fine, mate. Is that because of the nature of your business, like the way you record music and it comes from your soul and your fingers and your voices and your tubes, it's not like maybe other businesses, like, with vehicles and that need buildings and all this kind of stuff. It's like you're like these it's like all these different musical cells, and the hub being the servers, and that is the sort of where expense and all that kind of thing would be. But I bet you if you started up a campaign, no, I don't bet you, I have no idea, and you sort of said, this is what we plan to do for the future. And even like if you have subscription fees for your union members, it's like we're going to spend the next 5 years building up a pot of money to create servers and start off in America and the UK, Europe and all that kind of thing. And let your members know, it's like we are taking, let's say, I don't know, 1%, let it be symbolic, or 5% or 10% of your union fees, right, to invest in these server farms, whatever you call them. Again, cleverer people work this shit out. And it's like, and just build it. I'm not saying in a day, in a week, it's like months, years, but do it with the same people that are putting their hands out asking the big corporation, you know, to please give us a penny. It's like those same people, get them to invest in their own futures, to change the narrative of their own futures. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's it. I've got the idea's very thin. You know what I mean? It's, what is it? Keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? And it's a simple idea, but obviously there's a bunch of people that, like you guys, are clever enough to create this campaign. It's like, I think you're clever enough. And I hope in 10 years' time that Amazon Music, Apple Music, all of them, and I use them and enjoy them. Oh, very nice. But I have to compromise my morals, my ethics, my values. I want to use a music streaming service where I don't have to compromise my ethics, my values, you know, and I justify it by saying, oh, I'm supporting my favourite band. I don't want to have that moral dilemma. I want to use a streaming service where it's like, where we really are supporting the artist and not the artist as a sort of, as a result of supporting, of making the corporation rich at the expense of the struggling artist. I want it to be that we're making the struggling artist, like, but do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say anymore. I've said enough. Right, end of. Anonymous. Edinburgh, UK. 21-23 on the 27th of March, not March, February 2024. Come on, let this be the beginning of the revolution, the music revolution, the music streaming revolution. I have faith. I believe in you. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to subscribe to this new streaming service, the streaming service of the future. Come on, do it. You can do it.